Again, you'll notice that you're going to pick the picture that is most like what you're looking for. Not looking for a hearth, we're not looking for a mantle only, we're not looking for a metroscape contemporary, we're looking for traditional. So even though this might not be the exact mantle or surround that we're looking for, it's more similar to what we're looking for than the other choices. Now, we are getting into something a little closer to what we're looking for. You see on the right here, this is great rooms. That's a San Carlos, very large, elegant mantle. This is our showcase series. We have here unique designs. Unique designs could be used anywhere, and we are going to take a peek at them. The unique designs primarily have arches in them. Then we have the living family room section, which is where we're going to head. And if you've seen the previous video, Simple Elegance, these are simpler, one piece, generally smaller, for bedrooms, nooks. They can be used for living rooms as well, but they tend to be simpler and smaller than the living family room area. So now we're gonna touch quickly on the unique designs because you might want to put one of these. You might want to put it in a bedroom. You might want to put it in a living room or a family room. And you'll see right away when you look at these what makes them unique. You see the tapered legs on the Terabella, the Cavella with all the curves, the Cypress with all the detail, the Hermosa with the interesting design there, and the Hollywood with its unique legs and the stretcher section. Now, these same mantles and surrounds might show up in other areas as well, but they're grouped here for those that are looking for something that might be a little unique, and they don't exactly fit in the traditional simple elegance or living family room or great room categories. They kind of overlap. I'm going to use the little position bar up here to jump back a level, and we're going to be back here looking at the living family room area. And as you can see, this is a nice mesa, and that's a very popular model. The difference in the simple elegance and the living family room partially is size, but it's also the fact that a lot of times these are multi-piece. As an example, there is a mesa in the one piece, the simple elegance, but it's a one piece. This is a multi-piece. There's a Pacifica. Anything up to a 38-inch Pacifica is a one piece. This particular Pacifica is a multi-piece, and it's a 43-inch. You can see the yellow lines show you where the pieces break. So this has a cap, then it has a horseshoe shaped surround, then it has plinth blocks, whereas the Pacifica 3-38 would be all one piece. We decided to make the Pacifica 43 into a multi-piece because, quite frankly, the guys at the shop got sick of carrying it around. It was just too heavy. Okay, the Mesa is one of those that's available in all kinds of structures. It's available in the Simply Elegant line as a one piece. It's available here in the family room section as a 60-inch long Mesa. All of these that you're looking at here are fixed sizes. So if I were to look at the Pinnacle as an example, and I look at the second image, I can see the yellow lines that the Pinnacle breaks below the cap and lintel, that the leg is a separate piece. Now, interestingly, it's not showing correctly here because the plinth block on the Pinnacle is also a separate piece. So you'll notice the two different legs on the Pinnacle. The one on the left is a smooth, the one on the right is fluted. Down in the description you see a smooth and a fluted. I want you to also notice that when they're multi-piece, instead of referring to them like a 338 or whatever and identifying them by this A dimension, we identify them by the total length of the cap. And even though we do that, and this is a 67-inch length cap, the critical dimension is still the A dimension. So that dimension on the Pinnacle 67 is 44 inches. What that's telling you is if your opening on your firebox is wider than 44 inches, the Pinnacle 67 will not work. Now there is a pinnacle adjustable that has a custom length that you can get with the same legs and everything else, but this is not it. This is a fixed length. This top piece, the cap and lintel, are constructed to be that length. And while you could move the legs in slightly, you can't really move them in very much without it starting to look unusual. So what we're going to do, if the opening on your firebox is only 33 inches, as an example, is trim around the inside with flat stock, what we call flat stock, and a lot of companies refer to it as filler. You can look on the video that says number 7, choosing a mantle that will fit your firebox, and learn all about how you fit a mantle and a surround to a particular firebox, and you'll learn how to make your choices and selections there. So you'll learn whether this Pinnacle 67 would work for you or not. This is assuming that your opening on your firebox is 44 inches or less. Now let's suppose that you kind of like this size and you like this general area, but you have a problem. Your opening is 47 inches, and none of these fixed dimensions will have a dimension that is wide enough. But you still don't want to go to the great room and order those really deep ones. As an example, I didn't really mention that, but go back to the pinnacle real quick. We'll look here at the line drawing. You notice that the E dimension is 8.5 inches. Now on the Simply Elegant line, they're going to be more like 6 inches. Okay, so this is a little bigger. Everything is proportional. It's a little deeper. So the shelf is 8.5 inches, and so they're smaller, but bigger than the Simply Elegant and smaller than the Great Room. The Great Room, they start around 12 inches deep and go up to 16 inches. But let's suppose that this is about the size that you like, but none of them will accommodate your fireplace. Or you just want to see some more designs. You can go to the interchangeables. Now what I want you to notice here is the cap and lintel. Hopefully you've watched the 00 terminology video and you know what I'm talking about when I mention a lintel and so forth. I'm not going to go into that now, but if you don't know the pieces and the components, the cap, the lintel, the capitals, the legs, the plinth blocks, and so forth, you can review that video. It's 00 Cast Stone Mantels terminology to learn all about what the components are. Again, you see the pinnacle. Now we have the pinnacle again. We have a Covina, an Eldorado, a Saratoga. So what's the difference in the Pinnacle 67 and the interchangeable? Well, let's take a look. The first thing we notice is the cap and lintel are the same, except there are a total of 6 different sets of legs that could go with this. Now notice this one right here. Here's your fluted leg. Here's your smooth leg. But this is a rectangular leg here, this first one. What used to be the plateau leg. This is a mesa leg, and so forth. These various different leg styles. So let's suppose that you say, oh, I like this one. I like this L110 leg. All right. You like that look, that design. So you go to the line drawing again, and you're going to see here that the C dimension says 290. It can be up to 90 inches. All right. The A dimension is 272 inches. Now, this also has a 2-piece leg. So you'll notice the part number is a Pinnacle L110 and then L00073. And if you look at this leg, you'll see the E1 dimension is 5 3/4. What that means is that there's a backer leg. This is a rectangular, what we used to call the plateau leg, which is being used as a backer behind what we used to call the Mendocino leg. And so there's 2 sets of legs. This is a total of 2 pieces on the other side, plus the cap and lintel. Now, that's necessary because the plain leg, the front leg, that's the design piece, wouldn't be deep enough to go with the pinnacle cap. So we put this backer behind it. You're going to see more about that when you learn about custom lengths and how to figure all that. But I'm going to give you a quick little tutorial here. When it says that the A dimension is 272 and the C dimension is 290, I want you to understand that they're exactly related. If we make this C dimension shorter, these legs scoot together. You can't just slide this leg in and put it any old place. It fits right on the outside at the bottom of the lintel. So you really don't have a lot of choice about where you put that leg. And certainly, if this cap is shorter, these legs are going to be closer together. Now, you would think that would be pretty obvious, but a lot of people struggle with this concept. It is an exact 1-to-1 ratio. So let's say that I ordered this with a 90-inch cap. It would have 72 inches between the legs. Well, what if I ordered it with an 80-inch cap? You get to pick how long you want this mantel or this cap. And if I ordered it 80 inches, the C dimension would be 10 inches shorter. Well, so would the A dimension. Those legs would scoot together 10 inches. So instead of 72, it would be 62. So that's how you figure out how much trim you're going to need around the inside. It's going to be based on how long you order the top and how far apart the legs are. You don't want to order a cap that is so short that the legs are so close together that they will interfere with your fireplace. Let's just give you an example. Let's suppose you ordered it with a 60-inch long cap. That would mean 30 inches less than maximum. And so you would subtract 30 from 72, you would get 42. Now that would be just fine if your opening was 42 or less, but what if your opening was 45? You see, that won't work. When we go into how to choose a mantel that will work for your fireplace, we cover all of this in detail. I just want you to be aware that this A dimension is critical and that it's related to the C dimension. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. So here's our Pinnacle series, all the different leg choices that you have. And you can see where this product selector really helps. You're able to look at these and make a decision. Then you could come here. Now you see 4 different series. Let's suppose that you like the look of that Eldorado cap. So you go to the Eldorado. Well, look at all the legs that will work with an Eldorado cap. The Eldorado cap is deeper. So there are a lot of leg sets that will work with the Eldorado. By the way, the Eldorado is unique. If you order the fixed Eldorado, it's an Eldorado cap and it comes with a horseshoe-shaped bottom section, which is a lintel and the 2 legs all attached. If you order the Eldorado series, you're strictly getting the cap and the legs that make up that series. Notice these fluted legs? Those are your Pinnacle legs, aren't they? And to make them work along with that Eldorado cap, we have to include a backer. So you see the L0009-3 is a backer that goes behind the Pinnacle leg to make it work with an Eldorado cap. So this model is an Eldorado L175, which means fluted Pinnacle legs, L000903, which means that plateau style leg, 9 inches wide and 3 inches deep. Okay, and then you pick the length. These are your various finishes that are available in the traditional line. Missing from this layout right here is the Piatto. Piatto is only available in very simple designs. It's available in the contemporaries and in the outdoor living. It's a very smooth stone, and we're not able to achieve that with the detail that we have in the traditional lines. So this top one is paint grade gypsum, and if you watch the material video, you'll learn all about the different materials. And if you watch the finishes video, you'll learn more about the different finishes. This is the color chart, and these colors are not guaranteed, they're relative. There is always going to be a color match problem, plus or minus 10%, depending on the particular batch of sand and gypsum and everything that's used, how long it's cured, how much water went into the mix, and so forth. And the color changes a little bit over time as it cures. But you can certainly tell that Stone Age is darker than clamshell. You can see that slate is darker than granite. Not a whole lot of difference between clamshell and Spanish white, but a little. And the problem is, if you're trying to be totally specific and you want an exact color, the only safe way to guarantee that is to do the staining yourself. You can get a masonry stain, you can test it on a piece of scrap material from your installation, and then you can brush on your own stain and achieve your own color. If you do that, I recommend you start with Sahara sand. This is the natural color, the lightest color. You can always stain it darker, but you can't stain it lighter. The Western white is made out of pure white silica sand. It's a whole different process because it uses different sand. So it's lighter and whiter than the Sahara sand, but this is actually a color upcharge, as are the clamshell Spanish white, Stone Age, granite, slate, and so forth. The standard color is the Sahara sand. Paint grade is the gypsum, and you paint that finish. Look at the materials and the design choices and finishes for more information about that. All right, so we go back here, and you can see that in the family room, you have some nice selections. You can look at the interchangeables. You get a lot more selections, and you might even want to consider the unique designs. Okay, this takes us back to the beginning. The next video in this series is going to get into the great room selections, and I hope you stay tuned for that. My name is Skip Bales. I'm the general manager at HearthCo, and I'm available 7 days a week to help you with any questions that you have. You can reach me at area code 928-595-2317. That's 7 days a week up until 7 p.m. Arizona time. My name is Skip. Phone number is 928-595-2317. Thanks for watching.